Attachment theory suggests that forming a strong emotional and physical bond with a primary caregiver during our early years is essential for our development. When this bond is secure, we feel safe to explore our environment, knowing there's a reliable base to return to. Conversely, if the bond is weak, we feel insecure and hesitant to explore, unsure if we have a safe place to go back to. Those with secure attachments are said to have greater trust, better social connections, and often achieve more success. In contrast, those with insecure attachments may struggle with trust, social skills, and relationship building. There is one type of secure attachment and three types of insecure attachments: anxious ambivalent, anxious avoidant, and anxious disorganized. The first three respond to distress in an organized way, while the last does so in a disorganized manner. To illustrate this theory, consider Mr. and Ms. Anderson and their four children: Marcus, Sophie, Daniel, and Emma. The Andersons are caring parents who engage warmly with their children. However, after Mr. Anderson falls seriously ill and passes away, Mrs. Anderson faces a challenging situation, balancing work and childcare. At 6 years old, Marcus's brain is mostly developed, his character is strong, and his worldview is formed. The change in circumstances doesn't affect him much because he still sees his mother as his secure base. He grows into a trusting and optimistic young man with a positive self-image. Sophie, at age 3, struggles with the reduced attention. Her mother's unpredictability makes Sophie anxious about their relationship, leading her to become clingy and emotional. When her mother responds predictably, Sophie behaves ambivalently, masking her true feelings. Later in life, people perceive Sophie as moody or unpredictable, and she has a less positive self-image. Her attachment style is anxious ambivalent. 2-year-old Daniel stays with his uncle, who loves him but believes strictness is key to good education. When Daniel shows emotions or is too loud, his uncle reacts with anger or punishment, scaring Daniel. He learns to hide his feelings to avoid fear, which affects his ability to form relationships as an adult. Daniel's self-image is negative and his attachment style is anxious avoidant. Emma, just 1 year old, attends a nursery where staff are overworked and sometimes abusive. This environment makes Emma anxious about those she seeks security from, creating a conflict that disorganizes her understanding of love and safety. As an adult, she avoids social situations and feels unworthy of love, with a very negative self-image. Her attachment style is anxious disorganized. Our attachment forms in the first years of life when we're too young to express anxiety verbally, leading to high stress levels. During stress, the adrenal glands produce hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, increasing heart rate and blood pressure. Frequent occurrences lead to what's known as toxic stress, which harms brain development and weakens the immune system. In very young children or embryos, toxic stress can alter gene expressions, affecting long-term health. By simulating a strange situation, we can assess attachment styles in children as young as 1 year old. This involves letting a child play with their mother in a room for a few minutes before leaving them alone. The key observation is the child's reaction when the mother returns. Securely attached children typically hug their mothers first, then calm down and resume playing. Insecurely attached children may act ambivalently or avoidantly. Some continue crying or refuse to play again. The long-term impact of early attachment styles is well documented. Researchers at Minnesota University found they could predict with 77% accuracy if a child would drop out of high school by age 3. In one investigation, Harvard undergrads were asked about their closeness to their parents. Decades later, 91% of those who described a strained bond with their mother reported health problems like heart disease, high blood pressure, and alcoholism. In contrast, just 45% of those who had a warm relationship faced similar health issues. Here's the twist. Early years are crucial because they shape future behavior. A child who feels secure at 2 can form friendships in kindergarten. Each positive encounter builds their worldview and optimism, leading to strong relationships in school and eventually in the workplace. Kids with insecure attachments might miss these chances. John Bowlby, known for attachment theory, famously remarked, "What cannot be communicated to the mother cannot be communicated to the self." This implies that those with insecure attachments may struggle with self-awareness. To truly understand themselves and their emotions, they might need to revisit their early experiences. But here's the crucial question. Is our attachment style our destiny, or can we rewrite the patterns formed in our earliest years? The answer offers hope. While our attachment styles are deeply rooted, they are not permanent. Research shows that through self-awareness, therapy, and secure relationships later in life, we can develop what psychologists call earned secure attachment. This means that Marcus's secure foundation gives him an advantage, but Sophie, Daniel, and Emma aren't condemned to struggle forever. Sophie, with her anxious ambivalent style, can learn to recognize her emotional patterns. Through mindfulness and stable relationships, she can gradually trust that others won't be unpredictable. Her moodiness can transform into emotional intelligence once she understands its source. Daniel, whose avoidant attachment makes him hide his feelings, can practice vulnerability in safe environments. With patience and the right support, he can learn that expressing emotions doesn't lead to punishment, it leads to connection. His negative self-image can shift as he experiences acceptance for who he truly is. Emma faces the steepest climb with her disorganized attachment, but even she can find healing. Specialized therapy, trauma-informed care, and consistent, loving relationships can help her brain form new neural pathways. Her understanding of love and safety can be reorganized, though it requires dedication and professional support. The key insight is this: awareness is the first step to change. When we understand how our early experiences shaped our patterns, we gain power over them. We move from unconsciously repeating behaviors to consciously choosing new responses. So, what does this mean for you? Whether you're a parent, a future parent, or simply someone seeking to understand yourself better, attachment theory offers a roadmap. For parents, it's a reminder that your presence, consistency, and emotional availability during those crucial early years matter more than you might realize. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be present, responsive, and reliable. For those reflecting on their own attachment styles, it's an invitation to explore. Ask yourself, do I cling too tightly in relationships like Sophie? Do I push people away like Daniel? Do I feel confused about intimacy like Emma? Or do I approach relationships with the confidence Marcus developed? Understanding your attachment style isn't about blame, it's about clarity. It's about recognizing that the patterns you carry aren't character flaws, but adaptive responses to your earliest environment. And most importantly, it's about knowing that while your past shaped you, it doesn't have to limit you. The brain's capacity for change, known as neuroplasticity, continues throughout our lives. Every secure relationship, every moment of genuine connection, every instance of showing up for ourselves and others, these experiences can gradually rewire our attachment patterns. So here's your challenge. Start noticing your patterns in relationships. When stress arises, do you reach out or shut down? When someone gets close, do you feel safe or scared? These observations aren't judgments, they're data points helping you understand your unique attachment blueprint. And if you discover insecurity in your patterns, remember the Anderson children. Their early experiences differed, but their stories aren't finished. With awareness, support, and intentional effort, each of them, Sophie, Daniel, and Emma, can develop the security that came naturally to Marcus. Because ultimately, attachment theory teaches us something profound. We are shaped by our relationships, but we are not prisoners of them. The bonds we form in our first years matter deeply, but the bonds we choose to form today matter too. Your attachment style is your starting point, not your destination. And the journey towards secure, healthy relationships can begin at any age. It begins the moment you decide to understand yourself more deeply and reach out for the connection you deserve. The question isn't whether your early years mattered. They did. The question is, what will you do with that knowledge now?